Let me ask you this question. So this is the part where there may be another disconnect. Have you ever voted in America?
Of course.
Okay, so that means you have a political leaning, right? So we all do, okay? The moment it gets to the political leaning, the only way this could work is if it's people who are involved in this that are representatives to audit it, 10 people who are Democrats, 10 who are Republicans, and put, 5 that are independents and libertarians to audit the whole. There needs to be auditors of the auditors of the auditors, or else I don't trust you. You're a hacker, because even, and what I mean, I don't mean that I don't trust you as a hacker, right? You vote a certain way you do. You may, Ian Sanchi, he's not a Bush guy. He's a Gore guy. So he's a Democrat, right? Now, he may not be happy about the fact that some Trumps in 2020 said there was election, interference and election fraud. He may say, no, 2020 was a clean election, right? And 2000 in Bush's side, maybe Bush people will say, no, it was clean. Bush won, Florida. We understand it was so close, right? That's the area where people on both sides don't trust. But if there's one area that I'm convinced when somebody doesn't want to address fixing something too quickly, is because it's working for them.
You made amazingly good point without knowing. And let me tell you, we are filming this in Florida. So in Florida, Ian Sancho was in an office which is a non-partisan office.
Okay.
And in Florida, some of the counties had a partisan office as an election supervisor,
yep.
and some of the counties had that as a non-partisan office.
Right.
Recently, Florida changed that all election supervisors are partisan offices. Does it make sense to you? This is a recent change. So actually, Ian Sancho...
What do you mean? Recently, Florida just changed everything for it to be partisan offices. So
election supervisors.
Election supervisor for Republicans, election supervisor for Democrats.
So previously, It was non-partisan office. So there was no... So the counties could choose whether it's a partisan office or non-partisan.
Well, what does a non-partisan office mean?
It means that you don't have a primary of Republican, Democrat running, and it's not...
I don't trust that.
Well, the point here is that even then... If you have an independent office, if the office is independent from partisan, so it's a non-partisan office,
right?
It's, in my opinion, better than having that as a partisan office.
No, I don't trust that. Here's what I trust. Let me tell you what I trust. You know who's winning right now with you and I going back and forth? Guess who's winning right now?
I would say that if this is, hopefully this is not discouraging people from voting, because I think that's very important. But every single thing what is distrust and creates confusion, it's all the adversaries of the United States.
You know who's winning right now? The audience that gets to watch and say, I'm with him or I'm with him. But you know what the chances are? The audience is watching, and what are they saying? A part are going to agree with you, disagree with me. A part are going to agree with me, disagree with you. And that's how it needs to be. To me, it doesn't need to be partisan or nonpartisan. To me, it needs to be 5 representatives that are Democrats, 5 representatives that are Republicans in a state, and put 3 in the middle. That's how it needs to be, to hold each other accountable. It's like Billy Graham once said, back in the days, pastors used to go on trips when they would give, these preachers would go up there and they would preach. Well, women love pastors from stage that are great speakers. When pastors would go by themselves, a lot of ladies would come back to the hotel room and they would get caught. Then some pastors said, well, let's share rooms with one other person. Well, when you share rooms with one other person, one pastor could convince the other pastor to do something stupid. Billy Graham realized one thing. Whenever he would travel to go give speeches, guess what he would do? He would share rooms with 3 people. Because when it comes down to 3, one person's going to say, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. I am not comfortable just putting one Democrat in a room and one Republican in the room and let's trust they're going to do the right thing. Absolutely not. 5, 3 for each state, depending on what the size of the state's influence is. To do some bigger need to be more, some less. There needs to be the fight and everyone needs to watch. It can't be like, no, you can't see what I'm doing. No, you can't see this. No, there needs to be that protection from both sides if somebody's playing games. That's why we don't trust in America right now the elections. And by the way, for full and maybe I'm wrong with this one, and the audience is going to say, no, Pat, you're not right. You're wrong about this. You didn't help me trust voting even more. You're not helping me trust it more. You just validated millions of people's concerns.
Well, actually, what I'm saying here is what we need is transparency.
We don't have it, though.
Well, we do, actually.
How do we have that?
So I spent over 6 months in Georgia in 2020 election, starting from all of the special elections, primaries, and after the presidential election, the special election of the Senate seats. There is amazing amount of transparency if you are willing to do it, if you are willing to be an observer, if you are willing to go and watch, and you can see how it's done, and you can see if there's something going wrong. What I really hated in Georgia was, for example, claims after the election saying, oh, this one happened after everybody was thrown out. I actually took pictures also about the other observers, and I can show you the picture saying, oh, the observers were still in the room. Nobody was leaving. This claim that there's no transparency is partly misinformation. So again, I strongly encourage people to be watching over this and participate in the process, either as a poll worker, but also as an observer, independent observer, or your political party's observer. And what we really need is more transparency. Because, again, never trust, always verify. And it's not only that you verify, but you also watch how the process is done.
Never trust, always verify. Trust me. Most people are where you are and what you said at the beginning. And then you said later on, because you know how powerful that is, a democracy we have to trust. No one trusts right now. It's the lowest trust in the history of America in the U.S. government and the mainstream media because we don't trust these machines.
Hi, my name is Harri Hursti. I'm a lifelong hacker and security researcher, an engineer with a heart which thinks that impossible is just a state of mind. Connect with me in a minute. I'm here to explain anything you might wonder about election security, critical infrastructure security, cyberspace, cyber warfare, information space, information warfare, and connected warfare. So please ask me questions. Hope to see you there in a minute.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.